I wanted to make a video continuing, like talking about the way society is and how we just go about our lives thinking that everything is normal and things like that. When in fact, you know, if you were to take a step out and get out of it, you'd see that uh, society is a lot. There's a lot of controlled chaos, and there's a lot of what do you call it, like other hidden hand factors in pushing certain ideas and popular beliefs into the mainstream. The mainstream is, what the majority of us see as, what's in front of us. Let's say for media, the media, what we have mainstream is CNN, Fox News. That's what we all look to hear the news. And then, for sports, we look at the NBA, the NFL. That's our way of looking at sports, and as entertainment. And then you got like WWE. You got women that watch reality TV. You got shit like that. When people look to social media, people look to the big platforms. People look to Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and, that kind of thing. It's because it's pushed. Everyone sees it as a popular thing. Same thing with celebrities. People battle for what they see as their um, celebrity because they want to be like them, and they see them on TV all the time in these shows or whatever. That has that makes them gravitate to them. So people pick sides and pick their celebrity, their team, their news. Everyone thinks that they're picking something that's their choice. It seems like it's our choice that we pick to take Fox News, and we pick our president, and we pick our favorite clothes. When everybody wants to pick their clothes of a noble or a known brand that some celebrity usually puts out. Like rappers will talk about Dior, or they talk about wearing Louis Vuitton, or they talk about wearing Mary Jeans or something like that. And then people go out and they make that what they see as a choice to go and get that. You know, but when I look at that quote unquote choice is really um, people going to make a choice based on popularity. It's really you're given the narrative, and then you run with it. That's really what's going on. Like you get a narrative given to you, fed to you, that this is popular, this is what you should want, and then you go out here and you act on that, and you pick the choices that you think you have. So many of us think that everything is only limited to these options. Everyone thinks it's liberal or conservative, like Democrat, Republican. Everyone thinks it's Ford or Chevy. We think it's Dove soap or Dial soap or whatever the fuck. We all think it's like only so many options. We gotta put up with the BS, and that there's nothing else. If we don't have the options that seem to be the only ones in front of us, then boom, we're out of luck. And this is all propaganda. This is all propaganda by people, or the corporate heads, the figureheads that are in control of the media slash military slash uh, corporation. The big local corporations that really run the country and the world. Uh, you know, and uh, slash big religious heads and people that motivational speakers and stuff like that that seem to have the interests of the people. And so when you look at it like that, you got to realize that all our lives, like we're like herded, you know. So like we all talk about how what you call it. We talk about how certain people are like coddled because some people seem like they're spoiled or rich. They seem like they're out of touch because they don't really seem to care about the regular people's struggle, like paying rent and car notes, and they seem like they can just go buy another car, and they think that everyone else can do that. In a way, we all are out of touch. We don't live according to nature. We live a manipulated lifestyle. We don't even notice it. Everything, especially in America, is like hyper. Everything is hyper manipulative. We're very manipulative people. We don't even know it. Just Western people in general. Um, very manipulative lifestyle to get what we want. That's how society is set up. That's why so many people are so greedy and narcissistic. People deal with all these things because they're very into themselves in a society that's worship. All about yourself. Supposed to being more about the community. That's how people live for most of history. It's about the community. The families looked out for each other. You got married not because you just felt this way or whatever. You got married to preserve the idea of a family. You did a lot of things important to what would be better for your family. That's how, that was the traditional way. But now people look down on a lot of traditional ways. You get farther away from that. So that's basically how we get into a situation where we get into this hyper manipulative society that we live in, and which I noticed. And so basically, you get these leaders in different areas. Basically, even celebrities are made as kind of like leaders, representatives. Whatever we put a lot of our time into is what becomes almost like the voice of the society. That's what we have. How LeBron becomes a voice, Beyonce becomes a voice. Trump becomes a voice. He goes from being a guy who they say is a successful billionaire and stuff like that to, the president. Scandalous president. They say, it's always, every day he was in office, there was always something. He had some scandal, whether it's Stormy Daniels or it was the Russians or it was, January 6th stuff. Election, every time he was in, the beef, supposed beef with him and Hillary Clinton. All of that was, it was Trump being scandalous and seeming like another choice. That some people really believed that he was even I believed it for a second, I was like, because you get so they know that they give us all these shitty choices to pick from. To a certain point, you just after a while, people go the other way, and they're like, let's fuck this shit, like completely fuck it, and that's what happened. A lot of people start to go, look past Trump and just go fuck it with Trump because the other choices aren't there, and so with that, the whole point is that, this is just creating a more and more selfish society where you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happen because people are just living in their own bubbles. We all got social media, everybody's in their own home. A lot of us are in our own bubble. Even me included, we all we got to struggle because, we're not living in the simple days where you had to interact with people. Now you can be on your phone and talk to people that and just do tweets and stuff like that. You can send memes, funny shit and stuff like that. But you can also lose touch with the world. And, you gotta always have to make sure you have to find yourself to get back in. because uh, it becomes like a drug to get stuck into the social media aspect of everything. And you always feel like you got to be doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, and pushing you. It makes it it's like on steroids. So you can on social media and do all these things these days. So yeah, it's just crazy. Like having people having the society set up the way that it is. Like our society is set up to give people the feel like this. Everything's almost you know kind of rigged. If you think about it, everything's kind of rigged. Like the choices that you have. If you look at the politicians, they all have like ties to higher up, like all the money that's given to them and things like that is all tied in with these corporations, with the Koch brothers and stuff like that. So they're already handpicked, and they already go to schools, secret societies. They're already connected with secret societies and stuff like that. A lot of them were doing nonprofit and stuff like that, and giving speeches, in all these like poor countries and stuff like that for the image look. But then many times, when you look into the nonprofit, a lot of that was just like making deals with these dictators to get resources, and then in return, like the U.S. would go over there and give a good look, showing the missionaries going over there, or just nonprofit people going over there, looking, we're giving like kids food, and water, and, giving them little resources and stuff like that. When you also look at it, we're also occupying other people's territories, so that's also affecting them in a way more negative way. And it forces them to become dependent on America, and strangles their own economy, to then put them on our American, make them dependent on the American dollar. That's how it works. And so, we have this idea that this is some type of better choice, and that these people are just happy with the choice that we gave them. So now it's coming back to bite us in the ass. Americans are mad because all this money is going to Ukraine and stuff like that. We're like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, why is all this money going to the Ukraine? And all this money is going to the Ukraine. It was like that with many of these other countries. Oh, money dumped into these countries to push a certain influence everything over there. They have to have their dictators online. They gotta have the resources set up, the base and everything like that. They gotta have, all their low key people of information, that's in that area, a certain area. They gotta have them, helping them out. They gotta get the people, people in that local area to trust them and believe in them. They gotta do all that. So they gotta spend money to get that to happen. You gotta spend money to get the loyalty and trust of the people, so you can go in there and you can really get relations going, and you can establish a relationship, and hopefully you can get a leader a puppet leader that the people want, because you have to get the people to want to feel like they're gonna get hope and all this kind of stuff, vague ideas, that's what Obama was about, for example. You get the people to believe in a vague idea, and, like you get the vague idea in their head that they're gonna get like some type of hope or a better ending or something like that, and then they start to rally around the leader, and then they feel like this is their guy. He's gonna take them out, stand up to America, and he's gonna be tough on crime. He's gonna end poverty. Really, this guy was in the American pocket the whole time. They're using him, so instead of having to fight these people and deal with all that, they can easily just have someone persuade the people people, like coaxing people to sleep. That's even better for them, you know. So yeah, that's even better for them to coax people into sleep. Coax people into sleep. You know, you can just feed off of them and tell them anything, and they're just like in a trance, and they go along with it, and not really get vocal. They won't really stand up against it. And so, you know, so that's how that goes. I'd rather have a leader that does that, selected, and make now that'll seem like he's getting elected when people go along with what he has to say. So, so yeah, so yeah, that's the type of situation that we have with everything. You look at sports, you look at entertainment, you look at the actors, the actresses, you look at the politicians. If you look at politicians, they're really just a lot of them are actors. Almost in the same line as actors. Why some of them can switch on and off. Like some of them could literally run for office. You got like Schwarzenegger, you had Ronald Reagan, a lot of people were actors because a lot of them are trained in that. Like it goes deeper than what we think. Like a lot of these people, they are trained in type of acting, put on the front that to sell people what they want. It's something that a lot of these characters can do really well. Yeah, it's a thing that people do. It's the thing like a lot of these trained people do. They're trained to put on a certain front to sell a certain type of message or a certain product or whatever it is they want people to go for. You know, they have to sell a certain these elites. They know they have to sell a certain package. You got to sell a certain package to get people to go for certain things. So like, let's say they want us to what you call it. So like, let's say you want a country where, let's say, you want to be more sovereign. You're not trying to go into wars, and you want to have better relations with countries as opposed to being a more, having bases everywhere, always having conflicts, stuff like that, skirmishes, and having to make, war trade deals with countries, stuff like that. We'd have to put out a certain message that America is trying to become this type of country. We'd have to go and push the propaganda, and typically go after the younger college type crowd, try to garner their feelings, put their support and go for anti-war efforts to get that off the road, for example. But yeah, like our society is set up to go and to deal with things in a limited way. That's why so many people have tunnel vision, because people really believe in just what they believe in, and they don't see anything else inside of that. We're all trained to see a certain thing. Like we're all, really subjects of corporations. And I want to see it like in a woke, but you know how the Moorish guys say like all that kind of crazy stuff. I just like it's a more of a it's more of like an example, like but it's some way of putting it, like that, but like kind of like like their subjects or the guys underneath them, because they just like, let's say you got Walmart, they know like most people are gonna have no choice but to keep going to Walmart to get what they need. They know that they have like a complete hold where the government is giving them enough to just completely keep to just keep going on and on and on. They just they just linked in tight. They got all their stuff cheap and trying to. The government is giving them billions on billions, and government funds. They didn't tank in 2008. They kept it going. They're one of those ones that keep getting a boost. These are kind of um, economic failures, when you get recessions and stuff like that. They don't, they're not going to suffer or anything like that. You got a lot of, Walmart just, there's one of those things that they just know that people are going to have no choice but to pick them. Anything else is going to be, you got Target and Kmart and stuff like that, but it's not really on the same level as Walmart. That's how it is with the Democrats and Republicans. People know that, you got the independents, the Republicans, stuff like that, libertarians, but they're not on the same level. So people aren't going to go for that. They're going to go for what they're trained to go for, what seems like the only choice, and that just gives people tunnel vision. So that's just my thought on that. I'll make another video continuing this. Add some more, add something else onto it. That was just stuff that I'm thinking about. Things like that. So if you enjoy it, if you want more, let me know. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.